entrancing in the sheets. It's time for things to change. How old were you when you first thought there's something not quite right here for you?
I think it was around about like 18. Like I would, like the tampon like would touch me for like a split second. It wouldn't even touch the opening of my vagina, and I'd have a full-on like panic attack, like sitting in the bathroom crying. I didn't feel like a woman. I felt like a little scared child, really. Like when I dance, like I'm very confident with my body. So like, I'm quite an extrovert. When I'm like by myself, I'm like really not.
Not being able to use a tampon and having that panicky feeling that you were having when anything, even your own fingers, wasn't it, kind of went anywhere near your vagina. How did that kind of impact on your life?
I felt really ashamed. And I know I shouldn't have felt ashamed, but because I was like, well, all my friends are like getting into relationships, having sex. Why can't I do that? I know now that I can, but like at the time I was like, but I can't do that. Like when you can't even touch yourself, how can you like get anyone else to touch you?
It seems like such a simple thing, doesn't it? But actually when you can't do it, it isn't. It's not a simple thing.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me personally was mindset, because I kept saying like, but I am relaxed. I was just telling myself that I was relaxed. I wasn't actually. It's not just like a physical thing, it's also a mental thing, because if you're physically relaxed, that's great, but if you're not mentally relaxed, if you're mentally panicked, it's not going to work.
It's about the feeling of being in control of your body, isn't it? And what it's doing and how the muscles are reacting. And I think we're kind of a bit dissociated quite often, women, from our vaginas. You know, I remember kind of showing you, the model of what your clitoris looked like, and you were very surprised by that.
Yeah, we're not taught like that in school.
No. And interestingly, we're not even taught how to use a tampon in school. We're taught how to put a condom on. Like anything, it's practice makes perfect. But if you've got a fear and a panic around that, and then you get a fear of a panic about even touching yourself, in terms of how you want to experience pleasure. And of course, our libido is part of this, isn't it? It doesn't mean that we want to necessarily have sex with anybody, but it's about that force. It's about feeling very feminine.
Because when I was on my period before, I used to hate it. I used to hate myself. I felt disgusting, and like I would work my life or plan my life around my period. So if I had a dance convention, I was like, is my period going to be then? And yeah, like I walk around like with a tampon in, and I feel like a woman. Like when I started using tampons, I feel more feminine and more like a woman when I'm on my period. I don't know, I just walk around, I feel like I can take over the world.
As you kind of now think, now you don't have vaginismus, now you know you can get a finger in there. I know you can get a tampon inside. As you're 20, I know you said very much that you felt when you did your research there was nothing out there for women of your age. You even thought maybe this was just something that happened to older women. As you look forwards now, how different is your outlook now that you don't have vaginismus than when you did?
I feel very free. It's a very freeing feeling. Like I remember when I first managed to get my finger inside, I was like, oh, so that's what it feels like. And at first I was a bit like, ooh. But then I just got in all the way, and I was like, wow, like that's quite easy. Like it's not as daunting as I thought it was. And when I got a tampon in, I was like, oh my God, right, so that's where that goes. But when I first did it, I was like, wow, it's so easy. Like, why was I so worried about this before? But I know it's all about mindset. I think I managed to get my fingers in, and I managed to get a tampon in because I was like, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm just going to do it. And I did it.
And also taking away the fear, because if you've got fear of something, it makes sense that your body will kind of clamp up, even if that's an unconscious fear.
I think that being able to get my finger inside of me gave me so much more confidence to then use a tampon, because I was like, because I used to feel very much out of control. Like if I was like having an intimate moment with like a guy or whatever, and they were trying to finger me, I felt very much out of control because I myself didn't know what my own vagina felt like, my own vagina looked like. But now I can do it myself and I understand my own body. I'm like, well, yeah, I want someone to do that, you know? Whereas before I was very much like, no, I don't want that. But now I'm like, yes, I do want it. I just like, you know, I got through the initial like, oh, that feels a bit weird, and just kept going. Yeah, and now I'm a lot more, because I've been doing it for a while, I can find it easily and I can just do it. Like, I don't know, it's like a second nature almost.
Well, it's kind of making friends with your body, isn't it? So something that you feared that meant that you couldn't, you know, use a tampon or have sex if you wanted to, or be touched intimately. Now that fear is gone. I guess that's the part that we do with hypnosis, isn't it? Is we take away that fear, we put you back in control of all of those muscles and realizing that you can relax them all, and also about giving yourself permission for pleasure. So it's not, you know, the tampon stuff is an amazing life-changing thing, but also knowing that you're able to kind of receive pleasure when you want to. It's all on your terms, isn't it? It's your body. And how amazing that can feel when you want it to. How does that feel, kind of suddenly having that realization that actually this part of my body isn't about kind of disgust and pain, but actually it's about feeling very feminine and pleasure?
It feels amazing, really. Like, because for so long I was very much like afraid and disgusted, and I was like, and in the back of my mind I was like, but why do I feel like this? Like, I don't want to feel like this, because I know it's nothing to be disgusted about. Now, like, that feeling's totally gone, and I feel there's not really any word to describe other than I feel like a woman. Like, I feel like the woman I was meant to be. Like, I feel so free, like so excited, you know, because I'm excited about the future. And I used to be so terrified because I was like, yeah, but what if like I find the right guy and then like I tense up and I can't do it, but now I'm like, but I know I can, and I'm excited. I'm very, very excited.
You know, I see a lot of women that have this, and you know, we get them out of the other side of that, and yet we're told that this is a very rare thing. I just think probably that it's very underreported and it's just not talked about.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. It's kind of other young women who are experiencing the kind of problems that you were experiencing. What would you say to them about vaginismus and life after vaginismus as well?
People that go through it and you just don't know because nobody talks about it. And you shouldn't feel ashamed. There's absolutely 100% nothing wrong with you, because that's what I felt. I was like, oh, there's something wrong with me. But I think that every single woman at one point in their life might not go through vaginismus, but has an issue at some point in their life, no matter how many times they've had sex or no matter how many tampons they put in. Like, you won't be stuck with it forever, no way. It's all about your mindset. Once you change your mindset and start looking at it from a different angle, start looking at it positively, you'll be so quickly cured. Life after vaginismus just feels amazing. Like, you just feel like yourself. Such a good feeling, honestly is. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing kind of your story and your success as well, you know, because you know, the hypnosis, like I always say, you know, I provide the tools and it's you that has used them. So, you know, it's, you know, you say it's you that's changed your mindset. You know, I just facilitate that process.
I feel like ever since coming to see you, like, I've not just been able to put a tampon in and get, you know, penis-sized dilators in. I've also become a lot more, like, at one with myself. Like, I've discovered so much about myself, and yeah, I feel like we were meant to like meet and do this. Yeah, you've really helped me just discover a new part of myself and become the person that I was meant to be. You know, I was so scared and ashamed and you've just kind of like taken that away and brought out this, this new person. And I'm very grateful for you. Very grateful, because I wouldn't have been able to do it without your help.
Trancing in the sheets. It's time for things to change.